Hola Sombrero Time teachers, this is your video clip for Spanish 2 Unit 7 Week 1. So we're moving into a new unit and we're moving into la adaptación. You really want to work on that word. That's a difficult one. It will take English speaking kids a long time to remember that the H no tiene sonido. Okay. Now, I was thinking about some fun ways to really incorporate the verb usage, limpiar y recoger. Recoge tus cosas, like really use that. Limpiad la mesa, like actually have them act out these verbs. Even when you're practicing yo limpio, tú limpias, like when you're practicing that out, have them actually act something out. TPR, baby, TPR. Total physical response. This builds learning. It's a great strategy. Okay, one of the things in the calendars, I want you to focus on location. So we're really emphasizing the directionality, and you'll be asking them where things are in their room that they build out. So you really want to be practicing that all along the way throughout the week. We're working on words using syllables. So you want to really clap those out for your kids. Have them write it on the board and emphasize the syllables. Write out a word and ask one of your students to come up and break it up into syllables so they're practicing. Now, there is on page 135, there is workbook page where they can describe the things in their room or in the room, and then go ahead and have them draw the picture of that. Okay? You can also have them make out cards. You can do that on day 2. Now, when you're going into the story, we're really going to focus a portion of our staff meeting on this, so I want you to know that if you're struggling with stories, you are not alone, and we really want to emphasize this because this is a huge part of the language learning in the second level, Spanish 2 level, because next year in Spanish 3, those that progress, we're really focusing on stories, and they really have to be able to be pretty fluent readers. So, you want to read it the first day, check for understanding, act things out, do not translate for them. That doesn't help them. Just the other day, my daughter was saying, Mom, I have to tell you something about Sombrero Time. And I said, what's that, baby? And she goes, you were right to tell our teachers not to translate for us. Because the other day, this guy came into our class and he was trying to teach us some Chinese. And he kept telling us the English word and then the Chinese word. She goes, and Mom, the only thing I can remember is the English words that I was supposedly learning in Chinese, and I don't remember any of the Chinese words. So case in point, here's my 10-year-old daughter who's had both experiences with the 2 different types of instructional methodology saying, don't translate, because now all I remember is the English words I was supposed to learn in Chinese, and I don't remember any of the Chinese. So that is huge, huge, huge. We build understanding of the language in the language. I'll have to blog about that later. Okay, so on day 2, they're going to act out the story. Bring up some of your volunteers, some of your kids that really go for it. Have them act it out. Put it in order. Have them put, one kid act out a couple of the first events of the story. The second kid, have all the characters. Make it super fun. Don't forget on day 2 for the pronunciation activity, you're going to be doing oraciones completas. In the first 3 sentences, they're building out sentences so they can share that with you. Okay? Then they go into correcting the errors, and then they have to apply the verbs correctly. Always be articulating it. Give yourself time to go over the worksheet together in class. So they have to read it out loud, then have the whole class repeat the sentence. So everybody is articulating the words and practicing their pronunciation. On day 3, this is where in the vocabulary development activity we're focusing on location. So you really want to have that already practiced when you get to day 3, and then you can talk about ¿Dónde está la cama y la lámpara? And all of those good things. The dictation sentence, that is for you. Have them pull out a piece of binder paper. This is under pronunciation. And then have them write how many words are in the sentence. So they write a line. Los pijamas son muy cómodos. Vamos a escribir 5 líneas porque hay 5 palabras. All right? This is a great way for them to repeat, remember how many words you said and what they're supposed to be writing. You cannot say these sentences one time. You should be saying it 3 to 5 times as they're writing. This is not a memory test. It's a dictation spelling test. Can they sound out the words and get them on a piece of paper? Okay? Then give yourself time to write it up on the board so that they know if they spelled it right. Now, on day 3 of the story, they're going to retell the story, act it out, line by line. Now, what you want to do, where is your story? Here it is. Okay, so the story is on page 131, and then 132, they're going to put it into order, and then 133, they're going to build out sentences. There's a lot of great worksheets and activities for this. So the pon en orden is on day 2. They're actually going to put the sentences in order from 1 to 6. Give them time to do this independently and then work on it together. Have them act it out first, then talk through it second, then try to do the activity worksheet alone third, and then correct it together fourth. All right? That is the progression that I want you to take for best results. Then we've got filling in the blanks, so they're going to retell the story again orally, popcorn around the room, have them act it out and be silly, and then give them some time to do this individually. And the teacher should walk them through together so they correct. Don't ever forget to take that correction time. Some of the deepest learning is going to happen when they go through and they realize that they got confused or they realize they did it well. Without immediate feedback, children really have no idea if they're doing well or not. So this is how you're building confidence. You're demonstrating to them that yes, they've got it, and they're developing mastery in Spanish, or they don't, and this is what they need to work on. Okay? Now, day 4, we're doing conjugation in the opening. We're reviewing those verbs. We're not translating them. We're reviewing them. We're acting them out. Then you want to work on the conjugations. Give them some commands. Have a couple of those things from the room out about and say, Maria, recoge la almohada, and see if she can go and actually do it for you. Or Jose, limpia tu mesa, and see if he can kind of act that out. That would be a fun way. Day 4, they're describing themselves, really working on that vocabulary that they learned in Spanish 1. Under pronunciation, you want them to do the other oraciones completas, having them read the sentences out loud. And then under vocabulary development, I'm going to leave this up to you because what I'm more concerned about is that they really get through the 4th day of the story. Write 5 lines of what, describing the story and what was your favorite part. They can draw first and then write, or write and then draw. But what you want to do is guide the students into elaborating the story and talking about what they really liked about it. Okay? These activities, kids can help each other. You just really want to encourage them to stay in Spanish. So we look forward to seeing you on Friday. We'll have a lot of good stuff to chew on, reflect on, share about, and don't get too wet. This weather's crazy. Okay, hasta luego.